What's up, folks? Johnny Lee Reinoso here with Don't Admire, Acquire. Hope you're doing well. Hey, in today's video, I want to talk to you about 5 easy ways to sound great on a sales call. 5 quick and easy ways, okay? 5 tricks to sound great on a sales call. Most of the time, we have that first impression, right? What you sound like right away is what's going to help you win throughout that call, right? So here are 5 quick tricks that you can implement today to help you sound great on a sales call. Let's get started.
I'm Johnny Lee Reinoso, and this is Don't Admire, Acquire.
Okay, 5 easy ways to sound great on a sales call. Number 1, have fun. Folks, you have to have fun on these calls. You cannot be concerned and approach these calls as if it's your last chance to sell not only that person, but anyone, okay? That's what you call a sweaty palm salesperson, all right? Somebody who is overly concerned about every single opportunity. Somebody who stresses as if like it's all on the table. If I don't close this deal, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen to me? Folks, you cannot be a sweaty palm salesperson when you're pitching and when you're talking to a prospect, okay? So in order to do that, you have to relax. You have to have fun. You have to be able to be confident and competent, okay? And in order to get to that mindset, you gotta do a little research. You have to spend some time. Who's the prospect? Who are you calling? You know, what industry are they in? And then back that into what services and what value do you have that you think will speak and resonate to them and their line of work, their business, okay? Their industry, all right? So when you're doing your homework and you're getting yourself to that point where you're feeling a bit comfortable, you gotta take that deep breath and you gotta know that you have to have fun. Treat it like a game. Enjoy your time when you're speaking to a prospect, all right? Get to that stage, get to that point. Number 2, use comfortable words, okay? I can't tell you how many times, now look, I have listened to thousands of sales calls throughout the years, thousands, okay? Whether it's within my organization or when I'm providing some coaching and training in other organizations. And I can tell you that I can quickly pick out when somebody is pitching rather than talking. I could be sitting in this room listening to conversations happening, and all of a sudden I can hear that Steve is pitching rather than just having a conversation with somebody on the phone. Why? Because all of a sudden they go into that salesman mode, not tone, I'm talking mode, that salesman frame, that mindset where they think they have to use certain words, fancy words, to get them thinking, to get them excited, to get the prospect encouraged to probably think that they're smart and intelligent. Folks, refrain from using fancy words if you do not, number 1, if you cannot pronounce it right. But number 2, if you don't even know what they mean, okay? Be careful because you could be caught out quickly if your prospect thinks you're just throwing some jargon that might fit or you might think that they want to hear, okay? Buzzwords that if you don't even understand, refrain from using it, okay? So again, use words, use vocabulary that will complement you, that will support you and lift you up and guide you through that phone call to success, all right? Be comfortable with the wording that you choose. Number 3, tonality. Now you could check other videos out I have out there. Tonality to me is absolutely everything. Tonality to me is more important than even the words that you choose to say. Why? Because tonality is what allows your prospect to create that image in their mind of who you are, that image in their mind of whether or not you're worth their time, or whether or not you are an authoritative figure. You have to use the right tonality. Now, I don't mean deepen your voice. I don't mean create this animated type of tone that is not who you are. What I mean is Measure yourself, guide yourself, use a level of enthusiasm, but bottle it. Don't just scream it out like you're a little kid in a candy store, okay? Use some excitement in your tone, use creative phrases, use creative flows that'll help you. Again, phrases, if you know what you're saying, right? But tones and certain, ways that you breathe and pause that creates authority. Do you understand what I'm saying here? You see how I decide to be calm and pause as I'm approaching, as I'm speaking, as I'm guiding. That creates an authoritative figure, a force to be reckoned with. That is what you want to portray when you're on your sales calls. Now, number 4, stand up. Please stand up and be hands-free. You see in this video and in other ones, I'm always moving because when I can move my body, I'm more in tune with what I'm saying, okay? Studies have shown that physiology is a critical component, a critical ingredient to how you come across when you're speaking to people, okay? Just imagine you're going about your day. You're dialing, you're calling people, you're getting hung up on, you're not getting anyone on the phone, you're dialing here, you're dialing there, you're getting rejected, all this stuff's happening. What happens to your posture when you're sitting down? And all of a sudden you're like slouching and you're slouching and you're slouching and now you barely reach the mouse as you're making your calls. Folks, it doesn't work. Because if you think your physiology isn't affecting how you sound, what you say, how quick you reply, how sharp you are on the call, it does. So you have to make sure that you are doing everything you can to uplift your body, your spirit, and everything within you to be on point when you get that prospect on the phone. So you want to make sure that you're doing your best to keep yourself free from that level of posture or stress. And how you do that, change your physiology. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Put that headset on. Be hands-free. Move around a little bit. Get on a whiteboard as you're talking to people. Just imagine you get an executive on the phone, you get that whiteboard up and you start writing some things down as you're talking to that person, right? I don't care what industry you're in. If there's 3 things that you want to lean on, that you want to talk about with this executive or with this prospect, write it down on the board. And as you're talking to him, you're pointing at it. What happens with your physiology? What do you think happens with your physiology when you're sitting in front of a board presenting? You feel like a professor. You feel like an educator. You feel like a consultant. You feel like somebody with authority. Folks, that's what you want. So why not create that environment around you, especially if you're working from home? If you're working in an office and you think it's going to look awkward and people might think you're crazy, fine, then just stand up and be hands-free, okay? But if you're working from home, create the environment you want around you to make you that much better in the game of sales. Point number 5, last but not least, no today is yes tomorrow. And the reason why you want to have that mindset is so that you don't find yourself dealing with frustration every time you get rejected or every time you get told no, okay? Remember, a no today is a yes tomorrow. And when you allow yourself to believe that, then you presume everybody has positive intent. Don't assume that people are there to be negative. Don't assume that person just is not liking what you have to say, okay? Presume positive intent. In other words, if you call and you get the executive on the phone, you get your prospect on the line, the prospect, hears you speak or whatever, you pitch a couple things, you ask a couple questions, they go, you know what? I can't talk right now. I am not interested in this at this moment. You have to call me back. I got to go by. Now, you could probably sit there and beat yourself up and start thinking to yourself, what did I do wrong? You definitely want to evaluate where you think you might have gaps in your selling process and in your pitch where you could improve. But most of the time, if you've been at this game for a while and you understand what you're leveraging and how you're doing it, you're implementing the right tonality, you're utilizing the right level of authority when you're speaking to these people, you sound confident, competent, and you also are empathetic along the way, then it's more than likely probably not you. What it is that they're just a no executive, a no prospect at that moment, right? Now, what do you mean, Johnny? How could they be no at that moment if I do everything right? People have bad days. People have horrible days. Maybe they found out that all of a sudden they have a flat tire. Maybe their car has issues. Maybe all of a sudden they found out their daughter got into a car accident. God, hopefully not, but stuff happens. So you can't control what's happening in that executive's day-to-day, in that prospect's life, what's going on. You don't know what just transpired a few minutes ago. Maybe they lost a huge deal. Maybe all of a sudden they lost funding. You don't know. But what you have to allow yourself is to presume positive intent and assume something's just not going on there. That's okay. You know what? I'll call you the next time. And when you approach it that way, you don't find yourself beating yourself up. You don't get into that negative state that affects your day, the rest of the day. And you continue to dial with the right level of enthusiasm. And hopefully implementing all of these. You're having fun. You're using comfortable words, words that support and compliment you. You have the right tonality. You stand up. You used to be hands-free. Allow yourself to get into it more. Okay? And always assume positive intent. Okay? Rock and roll. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. I value. Do me a favor. Like, smash the subscribe button, and share this with others in the sales game, because I'm here to bring to you relevant and key sales skills, information, and best practices that'll help you in today's sales environment. Cheers.